Hello, guys.
Hello.
And
How's
we're
it?
live. What's up, everyone?
Hey.
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 All
Yo,
right.
yo, yo.
All right.
So, welcome, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just send out the link real quick to people. But how about some quick introductions from everyone?
Okay. I guess I'll start. I'm Mega. I typically do like video game, mm, the design tutorial videos, but I also do some fake videos every now and then. So
Nice.
yeah, you can check me out. All
All
right.
right. Sup, my dudes? I'm that boy Fizzy, uh,
Mhm.
making them dank reality TV show videos. Uh,
Awesome.
Peep me live tweeting about The Bachelor. I am streaming on Twitch right now. Come check out my Twitch stream. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, and
All right.
yeah, I'm a Soul Macker. I'm mainly doing AMVs at the moment. I also discuss some anime to manga comparisons and thoughts of certain anime series and how you can get started into them.
Awesome.
Mhm. Okay.
Yo, wait, Amber, did you tweet out the link already?
Yes, I just put it out right now. I'm also
Yeah.
gonna put it in the Discord chat for everyone. I guess.
I wanted to try to
Yeah.
retweet it.
Yeah. I just posted it in videos and music on BKB, so we're good.
Yeah.
No.
Nice.
Ooh.
All right. So
Okay.
today we have a pretty good topic to talk about. If people are gonna start coming in slowly, so
Yep.
we'd like to open up the floor, I guess.
Um, I guess I'll start. I guess for me, one of the biggest strengths of Fate is the fact that a lot of their lore, like basically all their lore, really is based around the original mythologies and legends that we hear of, like King Arthur and Iskander, and there's like basically like the entire lore is based around that, like the original stories and mythologies,
Hmm.
which which is unique in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, okay, so yeah, that's definitely I think a good point or a good strength.
Yeah.
Um, one video that I always like point people to is Fiz's video on like the good qualities of Fate or whatever, which he really dives deep into.
Yo, wait, you actually point people to my video?
Dude, I do it all the time, bro. I
Dude,
because I
thanks.
agree with your points, man. I'm like, yeah, why should I repeat things that have already been said? So
Oh,
there
dude,
you
thanks.
go.
I
I
appreciate
always
it.
Mhm.
point people to Fizz. So, do you want to just like reiterate a couple of those points, Fizz, for people who may have
Yeah,
not seen it?
Fate is good because Fate is about waifus.
Hmm.
And Fate has an absolutely unlimited source of waifus,
Hmm.
right? So like Fate's biggest strength by far is its main premise, which is the whole concept of calling in heroic spirits from the past and everything, right? This
Hmm.
is such a brilliant idea because it leads to almost limitless story potential.
Yes.
You have all of history's worth of nonfiction and fictional events to draw from and then make your own out of.
Hmm.
It's a crazy good idea, but then they go even further by not adhering to those strictly whatsoever, which so you can they can go absolutely crazy. And the way Fate does it is by making them all waifus. And you know what? This is why Fate is good and why Fate is as popular as it is today. Actually,
Definitely.
it's why it got popular in the first place. If Fate wasn't in a Roge, it would not have been popular.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the reason why it's got so much fan service because
Yeah.
it started as a eroge. You know what I mean? Because it started as
Yeah.
an eroge. That's its main point. Sex
Hmm.
sells. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, plus the
I
VN
mean,
environment at the time of release wouldn't have allowed for any non eroge VNs to ever be successful. So it was by necessity, and it worked out.
Yeah, it did.
yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of series like that even some people don't really, I don't know, may not realize are like that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like even like with Clannad and stuff. And what's the other ones? Air and Cannon.
Yeah.
the
You know
key.
what I mean? But yeah,
The
when you
key trims.
watch them though, you wouldn't even think that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're not thinking, oh yeah, this is definitely from an eroge. You know what I mean? When you're watching it, no way.
No.
So, Soul, what do you think are some of Fate's strongest strengths? I guess like
Well, I
strongest.
wouldn't say the waifus, even though there are some good waifus out there, definitely. But yeah, I don't know. Because the using the legends and stuff, I wouldn't really call that unique. Because I mean, we get that a lot of the time in movies and stuff like that, anyway, and certain Western books. Maybe for like the Japanese crowd, it's probably unique to them and different and you know
It's not
sensational.
so much Fate's use of legends and stuff that is unique. It's how liberal it uses them.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of historical revision and historical use in series everywhere all the time. Very, very popular thing. But they tend to be more grounded or will use legends from a specific era or like a specific region. Facia's like, fuck it. Like all of them, let's just stick them together at the same time. Why not? That's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, a battle royale of people from different times and places and stuff of legend.
Dude, you
Yeah.
just said it right there. Like this is how we make Fate good again.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Fate stay battle royale.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Right?
it's not like Fortnite though. Yeah. Not. I'm not saying
No.
Fortnite. Okay.
No.
Well, real quick.
let's get away.
Well, real quick before we get into the how to improve it or just how it could be better. One of the biggest things that I think that worked well for Fate, and this is just me kind of pointing to the original Fate Stay Night anime and I guess the visual novel as well, is how the story is told through Shiro's perspective. Because Shiro, for as a main character, he's as generic as they come, kind of. He's the wants to be the greatest hero type of thing, whatever. But just how the story unfolds and how there's like so many, because he's basically completely new to the entire Grail War scene,
Yeah.
So yeah, you have cool waifus or cool servants, you have hot waifus, you have all this cool stuff, but at the same time, it's like from a newcomer's perspective, which we as the fans would be that, we don't know what the hell's going on, so seeing like, oh, okay, he summoned this person, but then wait, this servant summoned another servant, like all these little things that kind of add up. I think that's one of the original Fate's biggest strengths, where it's almost like a mystery game in itself, because we're uncovering the events along with Shiro.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that approach is good, definitely.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's done through your own eyes. Yeah, I mean, like your own level of understanding is getting catered to. Yeah, I mean, you're new to this, you don't understand what's going on. Same as the main character, and the main character's learning as you're learning at the same rate. Yeah, I mean, which is cool. Rather than having your main character already know everything, and then he just does shit, and then you're like, wait, how did he do that? Like, what's going on? Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
yeah. That is good.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that I would point for the original Fate Stay Nights, one of their biggest strengths was also how well the character of Saber was written. Because she starts off as just like, okay, so she's this cool waifu character, King Arthur, but in female form. That's cool. But then it kind of goes into more her mythos, where it's like, which unfortunately doesn't transfer over to some of the other fates, but we'll get into that in a bit. Where it's like, she wasn't just made a girl; she was like secretly a girl the whole time. It's just like because of her actions and stuff, history just kind of said like, oh yeah, it was a guy. But it's like, and she doesn't even care, She's like, whatever, I'm just, doing my thing. So it's like she was like a really cool character, and I think that's kind of what like really also helped elevate the series as well, because you can have hot waifus anywhere, but having like a well-written character with like a good backstory and good motivations, I think is definitely, it played to its strength for sure.
Yeah, like they really like showed how like she was basically forced into the position to become King Arthur because of pulling the sword from the stone, and that's another thing that I think Fate does well is showing those like dark aspects of backstories that
Mhm.
that some characters tend to have.
Also makes them a little bit more believable because it was like,
Yeah.
she pulled the sword from the stone, and it was like this naive girl who just wanted to like do good, but then like
Yeah.
once she got thrusted into like actual power, it's like it wasn't ideal. Like shit got crazy. That's why she wanted to make her wish and like like rewrite history or whatever. And even then, it ended well with her like realizing that her time ended and she should just like let it go, kind of. I think the first one was good. I know Mega doesn't like it, and there
No,
were
no,
some parts that were not that good, but like overall I thought it was decent.
You're
I
talking
wouldn't.
about Doomsday Night, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
original
Oh yeah,
2016.
the Dean version. Yeah, the Dean version I don't like.
But it explained Saber so well. Even Shiro I thought was done decent. I think he's probably done better in Unlimited Blade Works, but
Yeah.
he kind of like saw a different perspective as well through Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the Dean one as well. I agree with Andrew on that one. Like, I liked the Dean one. The only issue I had with the Dean one was Gilgamesh. That's it. Like, because
Yeah.
he was just thrown in, right? Like the whole time we're learning about these other like masters and their summoners and stuff, and they're all fighting them, and then you feel like, okay, it's coming to a conclusion that they're having a talk in the street and stuff. Suddenly Gilgamesh just like kind of warps in there, starts badding them up, saying he's gonna claim Saber, and then goes, and it's like, okay, so now this is our last boss. It's like, okay, like, where did he
Yeah,
come
I mean
from?
that is kind of very like video gamey, but it's also it kind of plays into the whole like mystery aspect that I mentioned before because again, Shiro doesn't know how these rules work, and I guess we as the audience don't either originally.
Yeah.
So we didn't know that a servant could have stayed in the world, or how even like Caster summoning her own servant in the original. Like we didn't know all these rules, but so it kind of I mean it is kind of like video gamey, I would agree, but at the same time it's another like plot twist, to kind of keep the viewer on their toes almost.
Right.
Wait, so
What's up?
so if I caught that correctly, so keeping the viewer on their toes and everything, you're talking about like learning the way the rules of Fate work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Including all the plot twists and like ways the rules are broken and everything.
Exactly.
Isn't that is typically cited as one of the biggest weaknesses of Fate? Their complete inconsistency when it comes to their own rules.
Right. I have seen that, but I mean, I'm saying just like from a viewer experience, like if we are to like, I guess, kind of project ourselves onto Shiro, or because if you read the visual novel, you're looking at it through his eyes essentially.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? So true, like if you want to break down into technical details, then yeah, it's broken. But as like think about like you're the character walking a road, and then you just turn the corner, and like something's there. That's basically like the adventure kind of feeling that you get with the original in the sense of just things pop out of nowhere kind of. But yeah, definitely the technical things of it do become kind of hazy as you like really delve into it.
Okay.
But this is a good segue into naming a couple of other of the flaws or weaknesses of the series.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can go into that a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we've got a lot of flaws with the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fate is perfect. It has no flaws.
Oh, come on.
Which one?
Fate is perfect. It has no flaws. The only flaws are in who chooses to write that specific installment.
Okay.
Well, I can already see a flaw. It's the damn saber faces.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that artist sucks, dude.
Yeah.
He's just lazy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, he's something that sells.
He's known for being lazy.
Yeah, there's far too many freaking Saber clones out there, man. Jesus Christ. How many are there, Mega? Like 20
I think there's like 23 or something.
Yeah, that's
Too many.
Yeah.
It is funny though how saber faces are a meme within Fate itself, though.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a meme, not for a good thing though. Same like Shiro's lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a meme within universe. Like Fate itself makes fun of saber faces,
Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
which I think is fun.
Yeah.
I really wished Fate the series had more respect for Lancer, because it seems like the
Yeah.
male Lancers always get a raw fucking deal, like all
I
the
think
time.
Apocrypha Lancer was kind of OP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Apocrypha Lancer.
Wait, hold on.
The sun god or whatever. He was like a fucking phoenix.
Hold on. Can we go back to the Saberface topic
Sure.
for a second? Because
Sure.
that actually brings up a much bigger problem within Fate in general, which is really poor design all the way through.
Okay.
Or at least,
Wait.
at least okay, not all the way through. There are some exceptional designs, but there is a big problem throughout all of Fate of really lackluster and like cheaply phoned in designs.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure, thanks to like FGO, a lot of the characters have multiple different like designs anyway. So
They do, but then you even get like a situation like in FGO, Parvati is a recolor of Boudica, right?
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have like weird situation like that. If you look at, so it's a part of this problem is this outsourcing to different creators, right? Because you got a bunch of them that don't know what they're doing that well, and you get a lot of issues. Like if you stare at the anatomy of some of these people, it doesn't make any sense.
What time you work?
No, yeah.
Like
I think it's
supposed
just
to be in like
like
7:30. Like 3.
I was gonna say for the design thing. I think a lot of it is just to be widely appealing. You know, in like the most basic sense. Damn it, Mega, mute your phone.
Tomorrow
Mute your
night.
thing.
And I'll take him with me when I leave on Saturday.
Okay.
Can you watch him for me?
Yeah.
So,
Yo, Mega.
Take him out, feed him,
Yeah.
and then just again be careful with all
Say
this.
no, Mega. Say no.
All right. Sorry about that. But yeah, you know, I think it's just supposed to be like, you know, like they really look like they're designed as just to be sprites, like not moving sprites. You know, like okay, here's, you know, John or Jean or whatever. Here's Mordred. You know, just like a one-time look. You don't have to like, you know, really pay attention to their design. Just know that they're there, kind of. And the same could be said for a lot of the servants.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, with the designs, yeah, there are some designs that are just, yeah, too basic. Like the saber faces and the reskins and, you know, or recolors. You know, they're just very basic. You know, not much creative thought got into them. Lazily done. But
Also, like all the females are wearing like bikini armor for the most part.
but
Like, you know, like there's no real, like creativity. I think that's a good way to phrase it.
impracticability, you mean?
Exactly.
Impractical. No, but I mean,
Well, I mean that does fit in with
I don't think a lot of them are like that though. Like, I mean, like for example, Saber herself, she's got proper like armor on in it. Yeah, I mean. So you know,
she's also low tier in Fate Go. So like, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No,
it's fine. It's cool.
All right, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that I don't know. I guess the fan service side of it goes a bit overboard for me. Yeah, I mean, turning everyone into a female. Well, not everyone, because obviously you do have male people like Iskander, Caster, and things like that. But the majority, like especially of people that are known as males turning into females, it then gets weird. And then you know they have to then start making up their own story as to how Mordred was born, and
Yeah,
things
that was
like
weird.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like okay, you know, but yeah, I guess it was done purely for the fan service thing, which is cool if you love the fan service. You know, should probably check out High School DxD or something like that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you
Or
know,
Fate,
for me,
because that's what Fate is about.
One example that it actually works though is with Nero, because in her background story she was known for going to parties and dressing up as a girl. So
For who?
Nero, yeah,
Nero.
Nero in her backstory and like her real life story, he was known for going to parties dressing up as a girl. So that's kind of why I think they made Nero and Fate a girl.
All right, I
Yeah.
guess. And I think Soul brought up a good point, which I can kind of build off, which is the fact that I think another weakness with it is the fact that, you know, after the original or whatever, like the spin-offs and stuff, like, you know, there's a certain amount of rules that I guess have become like the standard. You know, like you always have to have like 7 servants, sometimes more, and you have to fight for the grail, whatever. And I think that, you know, one of the weaknesses is the fact that some of these characters don't really get like fleshed out characters, stories or anything of the sort. I think Zero is a great example that, you know, it actually took time to kind of like focus on everyone. But something like Apocrypha, which had like double the people plus John, Gene, whatever, you know what I mean? Like you don't really get their story, or like you don't really get enough time to care about them. They're just like, oh, here's this girl in a wheelchair that wants to fight, and now she's just a master. It's like, why do we care? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
all these, you know. So I think that, and that goes with like the more Fate series that come out, you get more and more servants. So it's like, okay, now it's this person, and then this other person, and you know, it's kind of hard to keep carrying, especially with some of their backstories or like motivations, either not fully fleshed out or they're just like super generic. Even I think Shiro in the original, you know, he just wanted to be like good. You know, he's just like the ultimate good guy, I guess. He just wanted to save people. It's like kind of boring.
yeah, and that also leads into the another point with Fate is the whole timeline issues with Fate. Like everything that they produce, there isn't like a like one timeline with Fate. You have like a whole bunch of timelines.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the original one, you got 3 different timelines there.
Yeah.
Always, multiple timelines, and then it's a case of trying to get to the point of, okay, so which one am I following? But then certain people say, no, you're supposed to take bits from each timeline. But then it's like, logically, how can that work? Like,
and also this goes back to what Fizz said earlier, where it's like, even throughout the original, from what I saw in Heaven's Feel, and I didn't really watch Unlimited Blade Works, whatever, but like the original Fate Stay Night and Heaven's Feel, there's like a huge shift in changes. So even though they're all technically the same story or whatever, like it's the same story, just 3 different routes. You know, things still change within it. So that goes back to his comment about how it's inconsistent within its own lore. So it's like, you know, you're supposed to take bits and pieces from everything, but at the same time, how do you know what pieces stayed consistent and what didn't?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I mean, I'd say, I don't know, more inconsistent. I'd say regarding things like magic and stuff like that. Probably that's where more the inconsistency lay. I think the problem with Fate as a franchise, the thing that it could build up on and help itself with, is showing more of like the magic side and stuff like that. Like there's so much things like the societies and stuff outside of just the Holy Grail War that it could like capitalize on. You know what I mean? But instead, it just focuses on one event, the Holy Grail War, and that's it. And like anything else within that world is just like, you know, just brushed aside.
Yeah, like second magic is like only really mentioned, and it's never like really like talked about that much.
No. Yeah.
Okay, but so my question is, who really cares about the magic in Fate? So like when you watch Fate, like who watches it and is like, oh my god, I really want to know more about those drool magic things that Rin did. That was so cool. You don't hear that a lot. What you hear is, oh, the freaking King Arthur just stabbed the freaking witch lady with the freaking samurai dude. That's what sells Fate.
Yeah.
Right. That's the part that sells. So like,
because that's what people are seeing. But then if you saw the magic and it looked really cool, what then?
What then is there are million series that have magic in them. But
Well, I
there's
think
very
I think
few
what
in which I can literally watch King Arthur stab a witch lady with a samurai just chilling or whatever. You
How
know,
many
like
how many series do you have where you have King Arthur facing against Hercules? Like exactly.
well, I mean, I think that's what he's saying. That is the appeal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But another thing that I was going to say is I think that Fate Zero proved that you can have something that's very narrative heavy and character driven. And even though, yeah, you still have the flashy fights and you still have the cool servants and stuff like that, the magic, you know what I mean? Like you could still focus really on like character motivations and stuff like that. And it would still, and, you know, and there's definitely like it's an interesting premise enough that it could be good if it's written well, basically.
absolutely.
Yeah.
When we get to the how to fix Fate or make it good section, I have a lot to talk about. We'll get back
Oh,
to
I think
that.
we can jump.
I mean-
I think we can jump into that now.
Yeah, I mean, Fate Zero for me was far too much talking. Like there was like far too much. Like even within fights, they were still talking. There was like so much talking.
Welcome to
much.
Gen Urobuchi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too much talking.
Okay. I mean, there's definitely a lot of talking. There's no way that anyone could deny that. However, I would argue that that is actually what really amplifies the fights. And this was going to be one of my things that I was going to suggest, which is how in something like, let's say, Heaven's Feel, which is the last thing Fate I saw, you know, you have the conversation between Hirei and Shiro. And, you know, you get to, and it's him saying, oh, I want to be a hero of justice. You know, the war is bad, whatever. As soon as he leaves the church, he fights Ilya, right? And Berserker. And it's like, what real weight is there? Like, why are they fighting? Or like, other than the Grill War, you know, like, this is just a fight for the sake of fighting, basically. Compared to if you know, you look at Ryder versus Archer, where it was like they had the Banquet of Kings, you know, and then it's like a battle of ideologies in a way. That's why Phase Zero is so awesome, because you got Archer saying like everything is mine, you know what I mean, and then Ryder being a conqueror. So I guess in like the simplest forms, you know, Gilgamesh is like almost privileged. Like he was just born into royalty. Everything is already his, compared to Ryder, who has to like literally work for everything. You know, like every place he conquers is not just given to him; he has to get it. So in their final battle, I think that, you know, more than just an awesome fight, which yeah, it's definitely a cool fight, but it's also like a battle of ideologies and stuff like that. So which wouldn't have been as impactful unless you had the narrative, essentially.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, because I mean, the ideologies for me still didn't matter, because at the end of the day, the end result kind of rejected the ideology they were making.
No,
Like
that is the point of it.
like, yeah, no, but then that's what I mean. So what does the idea, like, what does the ideology matter then if like the end goal is going to reject the ideology itself? Yeah, I mean, because it's
Well, I
same
mean, not
like
everything's the happy story, bro. Like, you
yeah,
know what
no,
I mean?
no, no, no. I'm not saying for like a happy story or anything like that. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I understand it's a tragedy. I'm cool with tragedies. Yeah, I mean, but it's
Wait,
just,
so what do you
does the ideology matter if it's getting rejected? Like, what was it worth if it got rejected?
The
That's
entire
what I'm saying.
build-up, first of all, has worth for sure.
wait,
also
wait,
just
can
kinda
you,
like
can you
the
define what you mean by the ideology being rejected?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Like for example, an easy one to point out is like was it main man Kerry, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
his idea of, you know, kill the few to save the many in it, yeah, that, you know,
Yes.
deaths need to happen, you know, life ain't that pretty, you know, someone always has to do that dirty deed, you know, to make things better for others, you know what I mean? So there's that ideology, but then like how it's even shown in the end of UBW as well, that then results in you're still like basically gonna have to kill half the population or continue killing until eventually only the happy people are left. Yeah, I mean, which is, it isn't what he wanted anyway, because the death count became too much. Yeah, I mean, so he's like, no, I reject it. I don't want this. But that was his own ideology. That's what it led to. So his ideology itself got rejected, even by himself. You understand?
And this is a problem because
No, but that's what I'm saying. So what does that ideology matter if he's rejecting it himself? So what are you left with after that? His ideology was wrong. That's it.
and that in itself is a profound statement.
Okay, and it tells you what?
The flaws in that ideology, exactly, that that sacrificing a few to save many still results in sacrifices, is still painful, and is still not good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is a big statement.
Okay.
So I fail to see how that is a problem and not something brilliant.
No, I don't know. For me, it's just no. I mean, it's like you can see that. You can see that already. You know what I mean? It's clear. You
I
can
think
keep on killing
I think
people.
what Saul is saying is that he wants like a payout. So, for example, like if this is his ideology, he wants him maybe like were you waiting for like a sort of reward in the end, which you feel
Just
you were robbed of? Because I mean, I think the whole point of the series was to show that in a situation like this, there are no winners, and no matter what your ideologies are and stuff like that, it all comes down to you're essentially cursed people just for having to partake in this, and that was kind of like the main message of everything. And I think that the Mato guy was like a perfect example of that.
oh yeah. Oh what one? What the old man?
No,
No,
not
the,
the
the
old
good
man.
guy who wanted to like
Yeah.
save the little girls and stuff
Oh,
like
the
that.
one
I
who
forgot his
tried
name.
to- yeah. Oh yeah, but it
Yeah,
was
Kakaria.
Yeah, exactly. See, so like
Yeah.
I think that theme was present throughout the series.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah, no,
because it explores so
Like
many
that was
routes.
yeah. I mean, yeah, no, but that's the thing. The Mato guy, I wouldn't say he was wrong, but it was just a case of he didn't get to he didn't reach that goal in time, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like by the time he
Yeah.
got there, it was just too late. Yeah, I mean, she couldn't be saved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which it isn't a rejection of his ideology. It's just a fact that
No,
he
well,
didn't make it.
yeah. Well, I mean, he himself didn't
Yeah, I mean,
reject his ideology, but it's just like the kind of like overall idea that him and his good intentions aren't good enough. You know what I mean? And I think that's the same with Kiritsugo, where he was like willing to sacrifice some to save more, and like overall he still wanted to be good, but um it kind of just goes to show you that no matter how good your intentions are, you're still choosing to partake, and therefore you could only lose and stuff like that.
Yeah.
right.
I think it was just done so well, but I mean,
Okay.
if
Even
you,
I mean, I don't know. For me, the guy felt like a broken guy already. Yeah, I mean,
no,
like,
yeah, definitely.
like if you look at it, like even
Fury
from like
especially.
the early scenes,
Yeah.
his eyes and shit, like this guy looked dead. Like, he's just walking by, just doing what he does, and that's it. Like emotionally, he felt so like withdrawn and stuff, and then. The whole time it's like, yeah, I got this goal, I got to do this goal. Oh yeah, Holy Grail. Yeah, I'm doing this. That's it. This is the way. This is the answer. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And then he finds out, boom, you were wrong. The
Yeah,
entire time you were wrong. I'm
that's the
sorry.
beauty of it.
And
That's
then,
what
he
Which
can't
does
handle
great.
it.
That's why
the
Medalka is
And
awesome.
yeah.
Even
Yeah, no, yeah,
before
Madoka Magica is awesome. I love Madoka Magica.
But it's kind of like
Yeah.
the same thing in a sense. Well, not obviously not the same thing, but like
Homero's
in
best
that
guy.
perspective, yeah, where it's like your ideologies or your ideals are not enough to carry you. You need to see bigger picture, kind of.
Yeah, like even before he took in the worms, like the Sakura's whole like training had already begun. So, he, yeah. So even before he started, he was already too late.
In a sense, you could kind of even argue that like, sure, he was the good guy. He wanted to save a little girl. That's very noble.
Mhm.
But like, you can almost argue that his ideals were flawed from the beginning, because since her training had already started, he like rushed into it immediately. He didn't have a chance to train. So even though he still had good good intentions, the fact that he was so unprepared and stuff like that,
Ill-equipped, yeah.
and he didn't even think of that because he was just so set on like saving this little girl and like reuniting her with her family. So in a way, that is like questioning his ideals as well. It just maybe he never realized it or whatever, but I think that it was done in a good enough way that the viewer could at least acknowledge it.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm not too sure about how well equipped you are, how it affects like your ideals, because I mean, people can still have good intentions, good ideals, but you know, not be in a position where they're able to like put them into effect, say, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, it was like for him, it was just unfortunate from the beginning because it was too late. It was already too late. I mean, it was good what he was trying, and possibly if he could have taken her away properly, you know, after some time, maybe she could have recovered and became better and blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, but you know, the trauma I guess was too much. She was already too far gone, and yeah, it was just he couldn't make it, unfortunately. Yeah.
And on the opposite side of that spectrum, I like to point to Apocrypha, which kind of did the opposite, where like everyone just kind of thrown in, no real motivations were said, you know, like Mordred's more okay. Like the cool thing, or one of the good things about like Zero was everyone had their motivation, you know, whether it was like selfish or whatever, but it was like counterbalanced. So
I don't. I mean, can you tell me what Caster Giles and his master's motivations were?
who casters? Well, he was
Yeah,
just that's the cool thing.
I don't know what theirs was. Like,
No,
I saw
I
them
mean,
kidnapping kids, killing people and stuff, but it's like,
yeah, he was just crazy
What's that
serial
for?
killer,
Yeah.
which by himself, you know, that's just crazy. But it complemented well with his servant. You know what I mean? Because like both of them were crazy together, but one of them side is art, and the other one was just kind of like, you know, they were both just crazy, but like they hyped each other up in a sense. You know, and another good example I would say is Lancer and his master, where like his master was just like the teacher dude, whatever. Like he was just selfish, and on the opposite side you had Lancer, who you could kind of view as selfish as well, but he was like a noble knight as well, you know. So it was kind of like that's it.
I would argue that they were actually complete opposites because the teacher was like very like bad and like selfish, whereas Lancer was like all noble and like all righteous.
Exactly. See, and I think that's what like Zero does well. Even like Saber and Kiritsugo, you know, like basically everyone was opposites. Even Waver and Ryder, like that was the great thing. Like it focused on people and kind of showed like different perspectives. I guess except the serial killer, that guy was just crazy.
I mean, I would say it gives you, because I wouldn't say like Lancer and stuff had like, it didn't feel like Lancer had a goal. I mean, the old man, well, I mean,
he
his
was just
master
like
and
wanted
then
to
his
test
wife.
his metal, I guess.
The master and the wife had the goal because obviously they wanted to cure him and, you know, make him better and stuff. So that was their goal. But yeah, Lancer, he just felt like, yeah, he's a character, and then he has a bit of like a bad past where he, you know, he made a wrong decision regarding his king's wife or whatever. And then he felt like, oh, he's kind of reliving it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, we got some like say character, I don't know, character exposition or character development a bit. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, not really like goals as such. But yeah. I mean, you get very little from some of them.
Some of them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, some of them very little. Even though like Ryder, I loved Ryder. But I didn't think like he was great for how he interacted with Waver. Like he was like awesome when you saw him as like the whole big bro kind of guy, and you know he's directing Waver and he's telling like, you know, you have to man up and stuff. You know, look, we're looking to conquer and stuff. This is what kings do. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, and that was cool. But yeah, I mean, we didn't. I don't feel like we got enough of his like backstory. Like,
well, I think sometimes it's not needed. I think that Zero does a great job of like showing, not telling. You know, I mean, like the whole like Kiritsugo backstory was fine, I guess, but like a lot of it was kind of like, you know, not 100% necessary. It was just to like really show, like, remember this guy, he's fucked. Here's why. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
And again, I would argue that Ryder is like a good parallel to Archer, who was Gil, and also Gil. I know, so you brought this up for Fate Stay Night, but I think in Zero he was like explored a little more, and he might be like kind of crazy. I guess I don't know. He saw people as like worthless and stuff, but we dive more into his story and stuff like that, his ideals. So I think Zero's well done in that sense, compared to again like something like Apocrypha, where it was just like, like what was Mordred's motivation? She just wanted to show off her father. Like who cares? Why should anyone care about that?
Like Apocrypha in general, like even the light novel isn't like good, honestly.
I know it didn't follow the original story. I know that much. Like it kept Mordred in when Mordred was supposed to lose to Sammy Remus. I know that much. But
to who?
I did the Red Assassin, Sammy
Oh,
Remus.
Yeah.
Like she was supposed to beat Mordred. But yeah, other than that, like I didn't really watch it. I saw some scenes with Sammy Remus because I thought she was cool. She looked good wifey material. So as she died, that was quite cool as well.
yeah.
But then yeah, that's it. That's my extent of knowledge. No, as well as knowing that Mordred was supposed to lose to her, but she didn't. Because it's a Saber clone. So.
But I mean, even if you look at like Frankenstein's monster or whatever, like what did she really accomplish? What did her master really accomplish? She was just like waifu bait, like Moe blob. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, she's a berserker with a like a cute side, and she wears a dress. Like she didn't do anything. She just dies, and it's like, why should we care? Astolfo was a meme. Like, did anyone really care about him other than like the meme of him? Like, so Astolfo.
Was that the trap? Was that
Ryder?
the trap one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Trap.
What I mean is like
No,
this goes back to like my general thing of like Fate just becoming so big that they're just pumping out characters, and like at this point they don't need to give like Astolfo a backstory or like motivation. They're just okay, here's a cute trap, and that's all you need to know. Here's him getting licked a couple times or whatever.
Your complaint is mainly like there's a lack of quality now in it. Like they're just churning it out now, so much so that like no real thought process or whatever is getting put behind the characters, so the characters can have like a decent backstory, a decent origin, or a decent story ongoing through the series.
Or they can reflect something in the series. You know what I mean? Like they're just literally just there, like they're just standing there. I think Mordred's master was just like some bounty hunter type of mercenary. He got like paid off in the first episode, so he's not even like he just like wants some money. Like that's like a stupid kind of reason to fight in the Guerrilla War, isn't it? Like wasn't the Guerrilla War supposed to be this big thing? Like, oh no, I just want some bucks. Like okay, just do something else, I guess. I don't know, it's just stupid. Like the whole thing just came off as stupid.
I'm actually gonna be right back really quick because I have to go to the bathroom.
All right.
Okay.
So going back to like improving Fate, just like do what Zero did and all right, granted, what Soul said, that there was a lot of talking and stuff, like too much narrative. Maybe cut that back a little bit, but at least just keep the fact that everyone's explored, maybe not so in depth, but like give someone a purpose.
Yeah, no, but I mean I don't mind in depth like exploration, but like as you say, show us. Don't just have two people sat there having a conversation about it. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to see that. That's not interesting if like your episode's only 23 minutes long and 10 minutes of it is these two guys sat there having a conversation.
That just raises the question, because Heaven's Feel had way too much dialogue, in my opinion, which you liked. And
I mean, but that's big for me. Heaven's Feel never had as much as Zero. Yeah, I mean, like we'd have a talk, like sat down having a conversation, then boom, we got the fight with we call it Berserker.
Mm-hmm.
Then after we'll get some scenes developing, high school life, whatever. Yeah, I mean, then we might have another little talk in the cafe when man's eating that food and stuff, and then we got another fight again straight after. But even in between that, before we get the scene of the cafe, we've already got another like situation going on where people are getting taken out, and we're wondering who is it, what's going on. Yeah, I mean, then we have a little talk in the cafe. Then we get another fight straight after, which then leaves him kind of, you know, weaponless. And then, you know, we go back and then we get them, you know, kind of like talking about what's going on. We then see another foreshadowing of some more stuff coming up. And then, you know, we get the end. And then it's like, okay, it felt all right. It was spaced out. But if you're watching like Zero, you'll see for yourself. You'll just get so much talking. Like you can get 2-3 episodes where there's talking and no real action scenes to help like break it up at all. It's just talking to talking to talking. Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
again, I would argue that Zero does a great job setting things up. Again, like the Ryder versus Archer fight was great with all the setup. I think if they had just like straight out of the gate, like, okay, these two are gonna fight, you know, like it would have not been as impactful. You know, it's because you really got to know, like, for example, Ryder's character, where he talks a lot to Waver, you know, like that's all that dialogue helped build up his depth, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, but that, you see, that was cool dialogue, yeah, because that was like I'm saying, it's like the big bro talks, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, and it was really cool, like how he's doing it, because you know he's telling like, look, these are things we need to do, need to get prepared for this stuff. Oh, what's this thing? TV? What can I find out about it? Oh, the news. All right, okay, this is interesting, because then now maybe we can build strategies using this. Yeah, I mean, and it's good. It's creative and it's working towards their goal. But when you got two guys just sat down and they're talking about, I don't know, ancient magics and magicians and the old previous toe suckers goal and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm not too sure how this is supposed to be interesting.
Like, I would say that Tosaka was probably one of
wait.
like the most like
forgettable. Didn't you say at the start of this conversation that one of the things you wanted from Fate is for them to expand upon their magic more? And now you're dissing the conversation which they're expanding upon their magic more as being boring.
Yeah, because see, not tell. Yeah, you need to see this. Yeah, so if you show it, then it can be entertaining. If you just sat there talking about ancient, you know, years ago, one of our old light masters made this wish, done this, blah blah blah, then you know it's not really that interesting. Because you know it still brings nothing to the table. It actually bears no relevance. There's nothing affected by that. Nothing's going on that's affecting that.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not immediate, but it's technically world building, you know, because if you think about it, it's present day Japan where they're fighting. You know what I mean? There's like trains, there's cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So if it's also like, oh well, you know, and I mean, I guess it's technically a prequel. So the fact that there is world building, I think is needed. You know what I mean? Because sure, if you saw the original Fate Stay Night or read the visual novels or whatever, then you understand. If for anyone watching, they want to know, like, hey, what's going on with this magic? Because they do explain from the beginning that this is not the first Grill War. You know what I mean? And so they want to like build up Tosaka a little bit. And again, I do think that he's a little bit more on the disappointing side. Tosaka is, but you know, it's still good world building in my opinion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he still had character motivation, which was like honor and family. You know, maybe it's not the most original, maybe it's not the best thing, but like
I would
more than something.
Because I'd say, wasn't there a daughter sold? Like,
for tradition or whatever. Because like the Matos and the Tosakas had like a clan. They had like a clan, fucking what's it called, alliance or whatever. You know. So yeah, that's still technically tradition. The mom said that when the guy was talking to her, he's like, yeah, I married into a world of mages. This is the shit that can happen. You know, these are like old ideals, but they haven't been abandoned, essentially. So that's all still world building, dude.
Going back to the mottos, another thing about Zero is that it actually also introduced you to Zoken, which you need to know for Heavens and Theo and later on and stuff.
Here's another thing. Okay, look, I know that Heaven's Feel has only been one movie, and I understand that there's still lots and lots of room for growth and stuff. However, I will say that like the character motivation side, in Heaven's Feel, from what we saw, is pretty lacking. Again, Shiro is just the soldier of justice or whatever, which, first of all, all of that was said, not even shown. It was just told. It was like, oh yeah, Kiritsugo, he wants to be just like him. That's it. That was his whole like introduction to like his character or whatever, his motivations. And even like Zoken or whatever, the dude, it still kind of just feels like generic bad guy. He's like killing young women in the streets. Like, I just want to live forever and I want to, gain power and all this shit. And it's like, and then of course you got Shiro on the other end that just wants to help people. So it's like literally just a tale of good versus evil. Like, it's boring.
If you look back at Zoken's backstory, it shows that he wasn't always like this. Sure, he's a generic, just a generic villain. But at one point he was a good guy. He was at some point fighting to preserve magic the way it is, but he got obsessed with immortality, and that's why he became like that.
Okay, but I mean, even look at Shinji. Like, what's his motivation? Like, he's just crazy.
Well, Shinji was basically made to be hated.
Yeah, he basically hated on Sakura, innit? Basically,
yeah,
because he wasn't the Mato head in it, or the heir. That's why he was hating on her. And then because at the end of the day, she's not a biological Mato, is she?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whereas I think he was, and so that's why he's got even more resentment towards her. You know what I mean? Who's a stranger coming into my family and now taking my position?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then, he's a complete dick with it, and then that's why, that's how everyone hates him.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, okay, yeah, sure, but like, again, the characters still kind of fall flat. You know what I mean? Like, no one's really explored in Heaven's Feel. Again, sure, it's an introduction video, so I guess we were just supposed to see who's gonna be around. Like, no one's like ideals are really spoken of or anything. No one's really, like, why should we care about anyone? Basically.
right.
Even Saber, she was just like, there's like a 5-minute conversation where she's like, oh, I was summoned in the last Grail War with Kiritsugo, and that's it. Like, that's all we get from her. So
that's how it is in Heaven's Feel. The focus is not in Saber, because she's not the heroine of Heaven's Feel. Sakura is.
Yeah, I get that. We didn't get anything of Sakura either. We got like one good moment where she talks to Shiro. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's like in between two fights. Like, there's really no build up to it either. It's just like this big epic fight, and then it's like them talking, and now more epic fights. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just.
I mean, I think with some of it, it's not because it doesn't need to, like, in a way, it doesn't need to explain stuff like how Zero did, didn't it? Because like with Zero, it was like.
Well, I think comparing it to Zero is unfair. First of all,
no.
Let's compare it to the first Fate Stay Night.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, there's no precedence for these characters. Whereas when you're looking at like Heaven's Feel, obviously you've got your Dean, you've got your Unlimited Blade Works. You know what I mean? You've got your backstory of the whole Holy Grail War from Zero as well, which technically directly ties into it. So you've got all these things. So then when it comes to like when they're talking about Kuretsugu, and then what's her name? Saber looks down and has that kind of like shadow over her eyes thing, and that kind of solemn look. You, as someone who already knows previously like what's going on, that is giving you something. You know what I mean? But if someone came into it new and they didn't know about the past, then they ain't gonna know why she's doing that. Like, why is she looking down for? Why is she keeping quiet about it? Like, I mean, they could be like, oh, there's obviously some information missing. But for anyone else who already knows, then obviously that's like just a subtle nod to that for you to understand that, oh yeah, obviously, she had a falling out with Kuretsugu. She didn't always agree with him. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, okay, I would argue that that's kind of the case for everyone. like nothing is really explained, which was kind of one of my biggest gripes, I guess, with it. Like everything is just kind of like slightly like, okay, here's Sakura, and we know that she has like a bad relationship with her family. If you know Zero, what she's been through, but everything is just kind of like, here's like sprinkled on just a little bit of everything. Here's a little bit of Rin, here's a little bit of Ilya or whatever, and so that moment does, in the grand scheme of things, that moment doesn't necessarily stand out because it's so similar to everything else.
At the end of the day, it's a setup movie, so we'll get more when the others are out, whenever that is.
But I mean, as a movie as well, I mean, I think you have to include the things of Zero into it because it's a sequel to Zero. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I mean, if you just gone into it raw by itself, then yeah, that's unfortunate. But really and truly, you should go and check out Zero first, and then come back to it.
Yeah,
ideally.
Yeah, it's the true sequel to Zero. So yeah, you have to see Zero first.
Okay, that's all well and good, but again, that just brings up another point. In which case, you guys, so this is an introduction movie that requires you to see Zero. Zero already set up a bunch of stuff up, so they could have used that to build more upon it. Again, everything is just kind of sprinkled in. Nothing is really delved into. So it's like you need to see something just to watch this, which is still just nothing. So you could watch the next one. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's another thing too. Like, even if you just watch this movie, there's not necessarily a lot, unless you already love Fate, I guess, to like drag you in. Like, why should I watch the next 2 movies? Just because I want to see more fighting, I guess, or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that really drags you in to watch the next couple movies.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it depends what you're interested in. Like, you could be caught up with the whole mystery of who's that thing walking around and put fucking what's his face, Shiro, into a damn near coma. What is that thing? What is it? What's going on? What is this guy?
One thing out of like a whole, again, the Grill War has
what
7
is that thing? Yeah, but what is that thing? Because it is outside of the 7. What is it? What is its purpose?
Yeah, Shiro said that himself. What the hell is that thing?
Yeah. Yeah, what is it? Like, what's going on? What is it getting used for?
But I mean, again, they could have still kept that mystery around the thing and explained more about other characters. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking for like the whole backstory of everyone or anything of the sort. I'm just asking for like, give us enough for me to care about Sakura. Because as it stands, I don't. It's actually more disappointing knowing that she's supposed to be the main character, because it feels like it's Shinji and the old man. You know what I mean? Like, she barely stood out at all. So it's like, just give me more of her so I could be like, oh, I want to see more of her. And of course, yeah, sure, the shadow thing or whatever, and like the old man, like those are like the main villains or whatever that you want to get into. But like, show us more of the other players. It's a Grail War. There's supposed to be 7 people, 7 servants or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where's everyone else? We saw like 3 servants. Where's the little girl? She made one appearance, badass fight, never seen her again. Except
Ilya.
like one time she was like, oh, I'm gonna take a car to town or whatever, but that's like nothing. It's just like, oh, just more sprinkles. Like, oh, you want to see Ilya? Here you go. Here's a quick sprinkle. Now moving on. Like, nothing grabs you, essentially. That's kind of my issue with it.
Well, it's a movie, so if it was a season, then maybe you would get more. But
no, I would be more forgiving if it was a season, because you have more room to play with.
Oh yeah,
like, okay.
I think
you can just look at like the Code Geass remakes or retellings, whatever.
Yeah.
Like each movie tells you a good enough part. The second one actually left me like, oh, like I want to see more now. Like, they introduced new cool stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hyped for it, and it's whether I'm a Code Geass fan or not, I think it was done well compared to like these other movies where I honestly think it was just made for the fans. Like, it's just honestly like, you want Fate, here's some more Fate. Like, just take it. But like, for me, I'm just like, why should I care?
Yeah, but maybe you need the second one, like how you did with the Code Geass.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it regardless. But again, the first Code Geass one was still, I mean, it was really just a retelling. Even if you go to like the Evangelion retellings, rebuilds or whatever, but they still kind of left off with something decent.
And you notice, you have the same opinion with Heaven's Feel. You said that well, when part 2 came out, it made you hyped for part 3. But
No, but I was hyped from the first one. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like the first one was done well to introduce, like again, because it's a retelling. It's hard to say. You know what I mean? Because you could always just be like, well, if you saw the original, there you go. But even just like the first movie, did a good job introducing Zero, his motivations, his showcasing his power, and just kind of giving us like a cool character that okay, I want to see more of. What do we have in Heaven's Feel? Unless you know visual novels and you want to see more Sakura or whatever. Like I don't care about Shiro. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's the magic good guy. Like, who cares? That's boring. Saber was boring. Everyone was boring except maybe the old man. But even then, he just plays off as like the generic bad guy. Of course, he's gonna lose in the end. Why would I care? That's what I'm saying. Like, there was nothing to grab you, in I guess my opinion. Unless, and again, this just goes back to me saying, I'm pretty sure this was just made for the fans. Like, if you want some more Fate, here you go. That's basically what it was. Also, is Fizz still with us?
Yeah, I'm just. I have a lot of comments.
I think he's
Go
doing the
for it, bro.
streaming as well, isn't it, or something?
But none of them are good, I guess. I'm very confused by this entire conversation.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
way the
Have you seen
conversation-
Heaven's Feel?
Well, so first of all the Heaven's Feel stuff, I haven't seen Heaven's Feel, so I can't comment on it. Besides, Ambu, your main point saying like it feels like it was made for like just Fate fans, like here's some more
Definitely.
Fate.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, it's part 4 in the series, so it's like if you're like, wow, I watched Fast and the Furious 4, but I hadn't seen the first 3. Like this felt like it was just for Fast and the Furious people.
No, but okay. My counter argument to that would be Unlimited Blade Works. You know what I mean? Because you had the original Dean, you had Fate Zero, and Unlimited Blade Works. Although I haven't seen it, I only saw like snippets and whatnot. From what I heard, even Soul said, he liked it, and I think he's a pretty hard critic when it comes to things. Like that wasn't just thrown together. Like here you go, just thrown in the fans' face. It was still like, well, and even from what like Mega tells me, which is like Archer's story, Emmy or whatever. It was still well constructed and well delivered, which is not what I saw from the movie.
But
that's like
Unlimited Blade Works was like the Ufotable Unlimited Blade Works was designed as an introduction point to the series.
Mhm.
That's the point. Heaven's Feel is not. So like that's again the same thing I'm saying. That would be watching Fast and the Furious 1. That's what Unlimited Blade Works was. It's a different design philosophy.
But you can see Fast and the Furious 2 as a standalone film because it's just like a retelling of the story, but it's still, it gives us like the characters, I guess, whatever, the actors, and like, okay, this is their motivation. They're gonna pull a heist. You know what I mean? Like you still get something. This is just characters standing around in the screen talking, and if it's not characters standing around in the screen talking, it's servants fighting.
So like I haven't actually seen Heaven's Feel, so like I can't comment on the quality or what happens in the film whatsoever.
Fair enough.
So like
But
that's
actually, well, I was gonna say like a good counter argument would be the Prisma Ilya movie that I saw, which just Prisma Ilya in itself, I haven't seen any of it. But
so
just
good.
from like I haven't seen that, but it just looks like goofy fan service, I guess, or whatever. But like the movie was actually good, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys saw it. I don't know if you guys liked it.
I
But
haven't seen the movie yet, but I really do. I've seen everything up to the movie.
That's because it mainly had Shiro in it, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly.
because it's an adaptation of the flashback arc of Three-Ray, which explains why like Miyu is the way she is around Shiro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean that doesn't change the fact that it was done well. It starts off with Shiro being his typical like naive self, and it's like a real character arc. He goes through a lot and realizes that his ideals and his like nice guy act or whatever is not gonna get results, and so he has to dive into the realm of madness essentially and start killing people off and shit so he can like achieve his goal, which is to save his sister or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a real character arc. And again, Shiro, who no one likes, I guess. Like, does anyone really care for Shiro? But in this movie, it was like, oh, okay, he's actually kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, this is actually good. Let's actually follow him. And
Well,
again, I'm not even like a Fate fan. I don't even care about Shiro. But in this one movie, I was like, okay, this was done well. And then comparing that to Heaven's Feel, which felt like it had way better animation, it's just boring. It's like, no, there's no reason to get behind any of these characters.
okay. Well, I would say Shiro's should be cool because I mean,
Yeah.
he becomes Archman.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's if you know the story, I guess. But if
As
you don't, then you see him.
as horror has said a couple of times, we need an adaptation of that shows like Shiro's slow progress into becoming Archer, like not just from Amelia, just like showing like those flashback scenes of like how he's traveling the world and stuff. Like we need an adaptation of that.
Okay, sure. I mean, I think that would be good, like lore wise, and like
Yeah.
just for like the lore. But like, I guess if you just want to like keep it real, that's not really gonna sell. I don't think. Like, like what sells Fate is the waifus and like the cool fights. So if it's just like some guy going down on like a life-changing adventure, how many people are really gonna care? And even like how many Fate fans are gonna care, which is probably not that many, and how many like non-Fate fans, because they're just gonna be like, who's this guy? Why should I care?
Wait, okay, wait. I would disagree with the point you just made though, Ambu, because for example, about like what sells Fate in it, the waifus and stuff. Because I'd say a lot of fans say Fate Zero is the best one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, within
I would say where
the
waifus. I would say where are the waifus in Fate Zero?
What's up?
I said
no.
Where are the waifus in Fate Zero?
No.
Yeah,
I would argue that anime fans, like general anime fans, think Zero's the best, but Fate fans would argue that probably Unlimited Blade Works is the best. Maybe even Heaven's Feel.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, for the anime fans, then. Okay, for the anime fans, if that is the best, then that means like the titular angle of make everyone feminine, give them nice appealing shapes or whatever. Like Apocrypha, and it was proper like Jack the Ripper's a girl, Frankenstein's monster's a girl. Everything we just make it a girl. It's fine. It's cool. Or trap.
Basically Fate already, but all right.
But yeah, I mean, so obviously that ain't all it needs. Like that is quite shallow anyway, and obviously it shows because anime fans ain't all about that stuff. They prefer the story or character-driven stories.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can agree with that.
That's I would say if you want to fix Fate, that's what you need to do. Like how I prefer UBW. I mean, but again, that's a character-driven story, mainly aimed at Shiro and like his path to becoming Archer, as well as we get the Archer side kind of hating on his past self and stuff like that, which is really good. So that
was weird in the original until I figured out. Yeah, then it got cool.
Yeah, like you don't. Yeah, it's like they don't really like you get little tidbits here and there. Especially like when they're fighting each other. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like leading to that point. But then at the end, you kind of you more understand. Oh, okay, I see. This is why. Yeah, it's all connected. I get it. Yeah, man.
Also, another thing: are you looking at this through a Fate fan or just an anime fan in general?
No, I'm just looking at it from the anime perspective because like I'm saying, at the end of the day, most people will say that Fate Zero is the best. Fate Zero never had that fan service level in it.
Yeah,
it more had a more serious feeling story. So if you want to fix Fate, give more serious stories. Forget all the titular angles of fan service. Hey, my name is Nero. Come jump in this bath with me. Give us a serious story, and then chances are people are gonna respect it more and enjoy it more.
Well, okay, let's take a look at that. That's an interesting idea, but I think if that would become something, you'd have to kind of like really look at like what sold more. was it Apocrypha or was it Zero or something like that? Like what, like merch wise and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like,
right.
All right,
obviously it's a business.
guys, can we just stop, please? And I can just stop this right now.
What's up?
What's up?
Based on records, Fate Zero has sold about 100,000 Blu-rays.
That's it?
Yes, at about $20 a Blu-ray, we're gonna talk about. Let's say Fate Zero has made about $1 million. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Fate Grand Order, which is a waifu slot machine, is pulling in 3 million a day.
Okay, there you go. That's
Yeah,
all
there
the
you go.
facts we need.
The moneymaker is the waifus. Done.
Wait. The Fate, what one is pulling in 3 million a day?
Fate Grand
the
Order.
Grand Order. It's like an OVA, right, or something.
No, it's
No,
a
the
mobile
game.
game.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the game.
Oh,
game.
but that's a game. You're comparing a game to a Blu-ray. That's not very fair. Come on.
You're right. But the part, what is making Fate money is this game.
Yeah,
Which
but that's
waifu
what-
It's just a waifu slot machine. That's
yeah,
why people play it. That's the
Yeah,
point.
but
That is
yeah,
what
it's-
actually sells Fate.
Yeah, but it's a game. You don't like. Yeah, I mean, it's a game. When
it's the
when
concept.
you're watching an anime, you're wanting the story and stuff, aren't you?
I think you're thinking of
compare-
it like very noble, I think. You know what I mean? Because I mean, look at like SAO. How well written is that, and how many Blu-rays has it sold? You know what I mean? How many spin-off light novels, and how many, it's got like all these spin-offs and stuff now with the new SAO, which I heard was better written than the original. So, like the proof is there. I think that you want more story-driven anime, which I think we all do, but ultimately, Ufotable or whoever, Type Moon is not gonna, if they can make something quick that sells like Apocrypha, why wouldn't they?
The problem with
that ain't. But see, that's changing point. If we're discussing about what can fix Fate and make Fate better, you're talking about from a business standpoint, or what's going to make us the most money.
No, yeah, okay. If that's what you mean, then yeah,
Right.
you're right.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, you can't throw in games. Come on, man. I mean, it's like saying, okay, right now, compare the sales of the SAO Blu-ray to the SAO games. Yeah,
I guess I haven't checked
remember.
either, so I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, that would be a more fair comparison to then compare, like, because they're both the same product, but one's a game and one's a Blu-ray. Yeah, I mean, but when you're comparing like a waifu slot machine game, ideally, because I mean, there ain't even any law to explain why the hell that's even possible. That there's so many different versions of the same servant, let alone so many servants out there anyway.
Because that's what sells, bro. That's all people want.
That's
People just want
literally what's making the money.
Saber, they want Saber Face, Mordred, they want Jean, they want all these other people. It's like 8 different versions of the same.
I know it's like Fate Pokemon. That's what it is. Yeah,
and I think that's proof as well that like that is what sells. Because if Saber or like one character was good by themselves, there'd be no need for all these alts or whatever.
But I mean, that works as a game. That's what I'm saying. Like that works as a game, but I don't think it works as an anime. You know what I mean? Or anime movie. I don't think that works like that. Like I don't think the harem series do that great. To be fair,
The harem series, dude, that sells there's like 10 light novel harems every season or some shit. Like it's hella. Like people buy it. Okay, well look, I think we're just kind of jumping off a bit of track. Let's just go back to what will make Fate good.
Yeah.
Or like how can we improve on it? And I think more story-driven narratives would be a good idea. I really agree with that.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the point I've been making.
Yeah.
What else? I say less characters, honestly. There's way too many to keep track of. There's like 300 different sabers, and then like one character like Arturia, she could be summoned as a rider and a fucking lancer and all this shit. It's like, why is there so many things?
That's because of the whole. You go back to the whole lore because every like well not every servant, but like a lot of servants when before they died they had multiple skills and so they can be summoned in more than one class. Like for example, Gilgamesh, he's an archer, but he has enough mana and magic skills to also be summoned as a caster. So it just depends on which version you summon, basically.
Okay, I get that. I'm not saying that there's no excuse or no reason. I'm saying like because there's so many servants, it kind of like waters down the quality, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
but wait. What do you mean though? Do you mean like so many servants like in the lore itself, or so many servants in a single show?
well, okay, I think Apocrypha just did too much. Let's start there.
Yeah.
But I think in the
Yeah,
lore
that's
for
like
sure.
in a single show, then I would say.
Well,
Like,
no, in the lore as
well,
well,
the show.
because like like now you have the 19th Royal War, whatever, and you're gonna summon an archer, and now you have like 6 million people to choose from or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like there's less focus, I guess.
Well, no. I mean, I don't know. I would say it's okay. It's fine having loads to choose from, but it's just they have
No,
to
because
be
you need to give each one a story. So there's just gonna be
they
like
have
a
to be
million
well,
feats. That's kind of the problem. It's just too much of it.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm
then,
getting
but then
that's why you get shit like Apocrypha, because you need to see Mordred, and they're not gonna stick her in something that's good. So just throw her in this. You know what I mean, or whatever. Frankenstein's monster,
Okay,
like.
guys, I'm sorry. Can we stop for a second?
Okay.
Go ahead. You're the referee, bro.
Yeah.
We need to fundamentally change our idea of what fate is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Because and we need to get on the same page with this because that's causing a lot of confusion. Because we're talking about fate and we're saying, oh, in Fate Zero this happens, but like look at how that's done in Apocrypha instead, right? Or then there's too many servants, they have to stick Mordred somewhere, so they're gonna stick them in somewhere bad like Apocrypha.
Yeah.
We need to think about what it means when you say stick her in something like Apocrypha. Okay.
Like a spin-off, but okay.
So what is fate?
The correct
Answer me
answer
that.
is a harem.
What?
The like basic answer, I guess, is it's a harem.
No.
Go back to my old one. Battle Royale with characters.
No.
It's a harem with battle royale traits.
No. Pull it out. What is fate?
The Holy Grail War.
No.
Okay,
Fate.
tell us.
Fate is an IP, intellectual property. Fate is an idea.
Oh, well, no shit. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so all of these different works that you're talking about within Fate have no relation to each other. Okay? Because all they share is this idea of fate. The timelines aren't the same. The worlds aren't the same. The rules aren't the same. Nothing is the same besides the overarching idea and the name fate.
Yeah. That's
True. So there's no guy who's here controlling what happens in fate. All right. Nobody, like Nasu didn't decide. It's like, oh, we got to put Mordred somewhere. I guess we'll just stick her in Apocrypha because they're not doing anything. No, some dude who had a legitimate story that he wanted to write bought the right to do something for fate, and he then wrote Apocrypha. It is a separate work, right? So when you say, oh, we want to improve fate, like, oh, we can improve fate by having more like actual narrative driven, more good stories, that means nothing. Because how can you accomplish that within this idea that is fate?
Okay.
Right.
So then let's start with this. Shrink fate down to something like a franchise, which is one thing, I guess, because you can have something.
What you're saying is give Natsu full control of all going on in Fate.
No, well, I'd say this: give it one timeline.
Okay, yes, one writer, one core series. Shrink it down to that.
Yeah, one core series for sure.
Yeah,
you could have spin-offs, I suppose.
Yeah, no, you can have ongoing like time, like, you know, Shiro becomes an old man now. He's got grandkids are now doing the battles. You know, their kids are having battles, whatever,
Even
whatever.
like prequels.
But it's just one timeline. No more split offs. No more alternatives. Yeah, no more. You know, 300 years from now, just one timeline, just consistently going forward, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my opinion on how to fix Fate, I have the exact opposite idea. Fully license the IP and let almost anyone do whatever the hell they want with it.
So you want it like Matsune Miku, basically.
To a slightly lesser extent, but yes. Actually, no, never mind. To a lot lesser extent, because you still need to be able to make money off of it, but make it easier to license out to different writers and different companies to make use of it with what they will. Because here's the thing, right? Fate is this idea, and it's this brilliant idea that has, as I said, was its biggest strength, almost limitless potential.
Yeah.
Focusing Fate down into this single core series and this single idea is too limiting, right?
Well, I suppose it depends on the creative mind behind it. Are you looking at it through a business?
Well, no,
obviously,
so
the
that
more
was the
people
next
that
point, right?
sell.
Yeah.
You're completely right. It depends on the creative mind behind it. And so the main creative mind we got there is Nasu, who, in my opinion, is pretty bad.
Well, I mean, Emiya was
had
okay.
a good idea, but his writing ability and story crafting ability is pretty subpar.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
Sure.
and what you want me to convince you right now, when you lend out this IP to other people, somebody really great can pick it up and put out something like Fate Zero, because that is straight Urobuchi working in there, working his magic. That story is all him working within the Fate framework. And you can get some really amazing things like that. You can get things like Prisma Ilia, which is also fantastic. The Prisma Ilia manga, which spawned the show, like you guys say, it's all fan service and stuff. It's actually legitimately good.
Yeah, it is. I'm currently reading it right now, and it's pretty good.
Of course, this allows you to get some trash like Apocrypha, and that's fine. You just let that slide to the side. You don't watch it.
Okay.
Because why do you care about that then?
You take the bad with the good.
Exactly.
That makes sense. It makes sense when you say it like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because now you have so much that people can work with and so much interesting things that they can do, right? Like, why have I not gotten a Fate series of anything that is literally just like Lancer taking care of Nursery Rhyme, Jack the Ripper, and whatever other little Fate girl there is, right? Because that sounds like something I would legitimately enjoy. And
there was the cooking one. Did you see it?
Exactly. But there was the cooking one, right?
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that's basically that. It was just them
Hell
chilling.
yeah.
I'm worried. I'm worried.
Okay, no. When you put it like that, yeah, I actually do agree with you. And you're right. That's a good perspective to look at it through. Okay.
But yeah, so
Fizz
that's my. So that's why I feel like I need to clarify like the path of the conversation, because when you talk about something as big as Fate, you gotta focus on this bigger picture. Because focusing on
your idea of fixing it then isn't fixing it; it's just leaving it as it is. Because that's exactly what it is at the moment.
It's making it more free than it currently is. Making more.
How then? Like how are you going to make it more free?
Well,
make the rights to it cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, no, he brings up a good point, because like essentially, I mean, I guess it wouldn't technically fix it. It would just allow for more good to come out of it. Now, sure, more bad would probably come out of it as well, but yeah, just don't worry about the bad stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like that idea of fix too is weird when it comes to like, what about Fate will we be trying to fix?
Yeah.
I don't know, the cheapness. You know?
What?
The cheapness. Just, the fan service. Whereas, you can give serious stories to
Well, again, it's like you said, so when you brought up that in Phase Zero, there's barely any fan service. And that's basically what he's saying, which is if more people like Gen Urobuchi get their hands on Fate, then that could potentially breed more things like Zero, which
but,
would be
yeah,
fan
but then
service.
potentially the creator of DXD could get his hands on Fate. What then?
Well, then we get another
What the heck?
Apocrypha.
That series would make so much money.
Yeah,
It
hell yeah.
would. It would. It would make a lot of money.
So in reality, okay, so yeah, so that's good. That's really good. I actually do agree really a lot with Fizz. That was actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd still say it'd end up becoming like the Hatsune Miku Fate, basically.
And
That's
how
yeah,
how is that a bad thing?
Yeah, no, but I mean, yeah, it'd be mad popular because look
Yeah.
at Hatsune Miku is mad
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but
I mean, popularity is not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
yeah, no. I mean, no, I'm not mocking popularity at all. Like that ain't the issue. But I'm just saying, it doesn't really guarantee it's gonna be quote unquote fixed or you're gonna get what you want from it, unless obviously you're one of the people writing the stories. Like you got the program for Fate and you're writing the stories, then yeah, you're gonna get what you want. But other than that, you know,
Well,
it's not-
again,
It
I
is
think
a-
it becomes a waiting game. You know, like okay,
Yeah.
you get someone gets the rights to it and they make another Apocrypha. Now you just gotta wait until someone else gets it and maybe they write something, another Fate Zero. You know.
yeah, but then that's what I mean. It's gonna be a case of, okay, I'm waiting. I don't know, 10 years. Got these 2 trashy series. Oh, finally this series come out. Yeah, this is awesome. This is
And maybe you get the Emiya backstory that you wanted. Maybe someone
Yeah.
actually cares enough that they're like, hey, I want to write this dude's story, and it's very character driven and it's good stuff. So yeah, see, I mean, it would definitely improve upon things. Again, I feel like a lot of other shitty spin-offs will come out, but I mean, you know, you have to take the good with the bad, right?
It is. It is definitely a risk, but it could.
Well, I think it's the best of both worlds because
Yeah.
you know, for someone that just wants trashy harem fan service, you'll get more than enough of that. And then for those of us that want like narrative driven stories, you know, I'm pretty sure that there's definitely talented writers and directors and stuff. And if you know the Fate franchise name is more accessible and they get their hands on it, then I think it definitely would, you know, they could turn it into something great like Zero.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
Fizz solved Fate.
Hell yeah. That was
Yeah.
our Fate slice of life. We're just wifey. chilling.
All he wants is his what is it, like kindergarten babysitter show.
Okay, are you telling me that doesn't sound so good though? Come
It
on.
would be a Moe blog, but yeah, definitely. I mean, there's definitely a feel to
So
that.
is it going to
Yeah.
be
I
like
mean-
that high school Gakuen babysitter thing?
Basically,
it'd be like that, but it'd be
Fate.
like, and then there'd be like baby Saber in a little like lion onesie going Gal and stuff, and then you know little
except
Medusa
that,
playing
like,
with a
like
little.
Jax, they're trying to stab the
Flushy.
moms of the other kids, you know? Like
Yeah.
the stories write themselves.
They really do, bro. The more you think about it, it's crazy. It's crazy as fuck. You can write so much because there's so many characters to work with, and there's so much things to like explore.
Exactly. Almost limitless potential.
Right. Okay.
All right, good show, guys.
Are we done?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, you
I
fixed
think
Fate.
so.
It's over.
Oh damn, dude! I planned that speech like yesterday since I knew we were doing this. I should have just like saved everybody an hour and a half.
You should have just started with that. All right.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Well, I mean, does anyone else have anything else to add on or whatever? I'm content
I
with
have
this.
been playing Dark Souls 3 this whole time, and I'm still stuck on the same boss I was when we started.
I heard it was. I've never played any Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is good, dude.
Yeah, it was bad. Probably
Okay.
more
My dog is flipping out right now because he hears the barking.
than- That's crazy. Extra loud.
No, I'm recording.
But yeah, I never played any Dark Souls. I heard it's hard.
It is hard, yes. It's good though.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Hi. I thought you would mute me.
No, it's all good. So any other words that you guys want to either add on or say? Start wrapping up.
Yeah,
No.
really. I mean,
No.
yeah. I mean, everything pretty much got covered. You know, Fate is basically going to stay the same, but cheaper.
So,
Well, I mean, we have no real power. Like There's no one that makes Fate is gonna watch this
Okay,
and take our
actually, guys,
advice.
hold up. I'm not done yet. I want to have this conversation. Okay, so you say Fate, like, let's say this idea, right? We expand Fate even more, and we let more people have their hands on it and create more diverse stories. You say, okay, so Fate essentially stays the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you do to fix it?
I already said, give it one timeline.
So just give it one timeline. Who writes it then?
Make it go consistently forward. That's it. I mean, like, if you want to introduce different writers, that's cool. Like, you know, but just keep it with one timeline.
Well, again, I think that this plays to what Fizz said, which is
Go forward.
essentially like Fizz's answer is basically like it solves everything, because like you could get someone that writes something that goes one timeline, and if it's like a studio or something that keeps getting it, you know, they could just follow that timeline. And sure, you know, like let's say it's KyoAni, right? They're doing their own thing, and then A1 Pictures is putting out their thing, and then
I want that
PA
so
Works is
bad.
throwing out their stuff. JC staff is throwing out their stuff. You don't have to worry about any of that. If you like KyoAni's one timeline, just follow that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I agree with his idea.
Wait, no, but let's give Soul his chance, right? To present his side, because so we condense all of Fate, we cut out the spin-offs, give it a single timeline, a single narrative, and how does that fix things?
Because then we're getting a more consistent story. We ain't got.
In what way?
In what way of it's a consistent story? Like, does Fate Dean connect to UBW? Do they connect to Heaven's Fill?
Nope.
Do they connect to Apocrypha? No?
Nope.
Well, there you go. So it will all connect. It will all make sense, and it'll all be moving forward.
I don't understand why this is a problem or how it solves what you brought up as your biggest problems with Fate.
Because it feels just too cheap and focused on just fan service, just spamming, and then that's it. Yeah, I mean, as a money making point, it works, I guess. You know, if you're looking at it from a business side, cool, that's fine. You're making money. You know, spam the hell out of, you know, tacky stuff. Look, we got swinging boobs, guys. Come buy our shit. You know, that's cool. That's fine. You want to do that? That's fine. But that doesn't mean it's going to be rewarding to sit down and watch and actually take the time out to get involved in the story. Yeah, sure, it's going to sell to the crowd that likes that kind of cheap thrill aspect. That's fine. But as a story, that ain't going to make it any better. You know what I mean? That's my point. That's always been my point with Fate. That's why I never even... I don't play like FGO. Never got into it because it just seemed like an over spamming of all the waifus for no real reason. Just throw them all in there. Fuck it. Pokemon cross with Fate. Here we go. That's it. Next thing you know, we're gonna have the Fate Go app. People are gonna walk around the street trying to catch their Medusas and stuff. And yeah, I mean, but yeah, for me, it's just like there's no value in just spamming crap. Basically, just look, we got sexy girls. Here we go. Like there's no worth in that. You know what I mean? Give me a good story. I'll take a good story over a sexy girl any day. Because this is for my entertainment. If I want to get off on sexy girls, there's porn.
Okay. So by condensing all of this Fate, getting rid of all of the pointless spin-offs and creating a single core narrative, it will be a better story.
Yeah. Because it'll be consistent.
Well,
that
okay.
is still highly dependent on who is writing and making the story.
Right. Also, what story are you talking about? Because like,
exactly, that was my next question.
Technically already written out. It was just never animated, I guess, right? Like Nasu went into it. So, like, do you just want like existing things? If that's the case, then just follow Nasu's stuff, right? Like, read his visual novels or whatever he wrote. Do you just want to see it animated? Is that the thing?
Well, I mean, if you're watching the anime, then yeah, this is what we're talking about, the anime, innit? Yeah, I remember. Because I thought that's what we're talking about.
But yeah, but I mean, you're trying to give it to one person for a story. I mean, I understand where you're coming from with the consistency thing, because the whole spin-off thing does breed way too much inconsistency. but at the same time, I don't know. Like it because like
So
Nasu, okay. Go ahead.
what I'm wondering here is how you're not getting that, because from the impression I got throughout the rest of this conversation, you enjoyed the original Fate Stay Night. By the original, I mean the story of Fate Stay Night and all of its separate pieces. So Unlimited Blade Works and now the Heaven's Feel movie. I believe you were defending it.
He was.
And so therein lies a consistent narrative. You're getting that. That's good. Further on, once that finishes, there is Fate Hollow Ataraxia, which might get an adaptation and is a direct continuation after that as well.
So
you're still getting this long form, consistent story that, in your opinion, is good. Why does the existence of something like Fate Apocrypha detract from your enjoyment of that?
Well, there was nothing to it. It was just spamming, and it weren't connected at all, was it? It didn't.
So if it's not connected at all, why does that make Fate Stay Night worse?
Well, it's not Fate Stay Night, innit? It's Fate Apocrypha.
Exactly. So I'm asking you. You want a long form, consistent narrative in Fate, which you say doesn't exist.
I'm talking about the Fate franchise as a franchise on a whole, not just Fate Stay Night. We're talking about the franchise, aren't we?
So he's basically condensed the Fate franchise,
to
into
one
Fate Stay Night,
into one consistent story. Yeah, going from Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel, if you want. Boom, that's it. But
also another thing, bro. Like Nasu wrote Fate Stay Night as in Rogue, right? Like
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
So you're saying that you don't want fan service, but you want the original story, which is that essentially. It's a harem.
Okay.
3 rounds so the guy gets with all the girls.
Why is Fate Zero not an Aroge then? It should be an Aroge.
No, I didn't. Not Fate Zero. I'm talking about Fate Stay Night. That's the one you want, right? You're saying follow one consistent, because technically, by your standards, there would be no Fate Zero.
Yeah, no,
but
you hear what
Fate
you
Stay
said.
Night. Unlimited
Basically, I should accept fan service and stuff because it is going from the story of Fate Stay Night. Yeah, Fate Zero is a prelude to that story. It is connected directly timeline to that story. Where is the fan service? There is none.
Okay, I think I got it. I think I understand.
I'm saying I don't have to have that like titular element to it. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to.
Okay, I think I understand where you're coming from. And if I understand correctly, your argument is we can fix Fate by taking out all the fan service because I don't like it.
No.
Therefore, nobody else should.
No, I never said that. You're trying to take it personal. I'm not. I understand you love the fan service. It's fine. But I'm just saying, no, it's just.
I don't like the fan service, and I think you said the same thing.
Yeah, I don't care for Fate's fan service whatsoever. I don't watch any of that.
No, I'm just saying more consistent storytelling. That's it. You know what I mean? It's just, it needs to be like more consistent, characters you can then get attached to, you can then understand how time has passed and stuff. For example, like with Gundam series, I love the UC timeline because it is connected. Even though there are years between series and stuff.
But are there not spin-offs?
It's connected. No, the UC timeline, no. But
I mean Gundam in general.
Other shows, yeah. No, there's other shows
just
that
look at Fate in the same way, bro. You got your Dean Stay Night. You got Zero, Dean Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven Field. There you go. That's your UC timeline. Apocrypha is whatever the equivalent of Gundam is. You know what I mean? Last Encore is as well. It's just different. It's just like for people they want more Gundam. That's there for. Essentially.
Right.
I mean, I get where both of you guys are coming from, and I do agree with Fish for sure.
Okay, well then that's cool.
Yeah.
Busy's busy. He's trying to beat the.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of this fight.
Yeah.
It's fine,
bro.
Yep.
All right, Mega, you haven't said anything in a while. Any thoughts?
I I basically just said my points, and I feel I can agree with Fizz that if we do like make it so that other writers do have access to it, it could make it so that we get more content, and that could be on the level of Fate Zero. But at the same time, it's also a risk because who knows how long it would take to get to that point, and how long are you willing to wait?
True.
That's an issue I have with it.
Wait, but did you just say that it's a risk to have to wait for something instead of not getting it at all?
It's a risk money-wise, because if you let other writers in, and you're producing more shit series versus series that are actually good, then you're gonna lose money.
Yes, and so normally in a smaller franchise, this would be completely unfeasible.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that. Except Fate has a nice little piggy bank that is literally pulling in $3 million a day, and they just pull in more money when more of these dumb characters get introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Also, I mean, think about it. There are people who will buy the apocryphas of the, they pop out. Like, if Fate wants to make 3, apocrypha level things for just fan service and fighting, and then they make 1 Fate Zero quality thing, which is like really heavily narrative and well structured, like all of that will still sell. You know what I mean? There's still people that are going to buy the fan service stuff, just like DXD sells and SAO sells or whatever. So I don't think it's such a big risk, because this is, as I mentioned before, this is kind of like an overall solution to everyone. Like, you want good writing, here you go. You want good just fan service and shit, here you go. You want a comedy, the people want to see another Carnival Phantasm or something, here you go. They can make spin-off, they can make slice of life restaurant fucking cooking shows and shit.
Hell yeah, they can.
Yeah, see, that's what Fizz is saying. I get what what's his name, Soul saying. Soul wants a story that will begin and end, essentially. He wants it to start here, go through the timeline, and then it will have an ending, so he can put it down. And what Fizz is saying is he just wants to let it go on forever, because the idea is so good, which I do agree with. The idea of just summoning heroes and magic and the Grail War, it is a cool idea. And, it has a lot of potential. So
yeah,
we're both kind of right, I guess. But yeah,
what
I do think that
the part that just bothers me is that his thing already exists in each individual installment.
Yeah, for sure.
And his point is just it feels very selfish to me, and it feels like a really weird way of thinking about the world that only I have to keep. We must keep the parts that I think are good, which is this semi-consistent story, and we must get rid of all of the bad parts, because their existence makes the part I like worse.
Yeah, you're right. Because I mean, like, if it was on the opposite side of the spectrum, if he liked the fan service and was petitioning to get rid of the narrative, it's essentially the same thing. Or anyone, I guess, just that style of thinking.
But yeah, exactly.
Yes, which is why I said, like, your solution is just like overall, like, it fixes it for technically everyone, because you can still have the fan service and the slice of life, but also if you want that good stuff, it's in there somewhere, hopefully. But yeah, for sure.
All right.
So it's a case of just hunting out whatever little arcs or whatever appeal to you, and then that's it.
Yeah.
When they get made eventually, then that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. like I said, well, for me, that means nothing changes really. I mean, yeah, on paper you can say something changes because more writers are getting hold of it, but essentially nothing changes because it's still the same thing. Yeah, I mean, different writer wrote Zero, people loved it. You know, different writer wrote freaking, I don't know, Apocrypha or whatever. A lot of people didn't like it. You know,
Some people did.
you know.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah, I
love
know, but essentially it's like hit and misses, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, just different writers writing different storylines, like the what was that other one, Fate, Strange Fate, and stuff like that.
Strange Fate is actually really good.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, just different stuff like that. So essentially, that's already happening. So the only difference is, it's gonna happen more often.
Yeah, make it more available. Is what he said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's why for me, essentially, it doesn't seem like anything's really changing, but you know, just a slight change, I guess.
All right.
All right, good stuff. Good talk, guys.
Yep.
Lots of fun.
All right. See you guys. I am streaming right now on Twitch. You guys should visit my channel at twitch.tv/physyanime.
For sure.
Sure.
How many people are watching the YouTube stream actually? Like, have we had comments? Wait, have you been talking in chat?
Some people have, we have cool people saying what's up.
Yeah, we have like 5 people watching right now.
Yeah.
Is there anything to address in chat? Are there questions or comments people have before we head off? Or
Really, the only thing is that I guess Sam was saying that Fate seems pretty much like a gotcha itself, but that's really about it.
Yeah, I think people just ultimately understand that Fate is too big to contain.
Fate is an idea.
Yeah.
All right, so
An idea based around cute girls
for sure.
and cuter guys.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
All right, so you guys want to say your goodbye statements, and then we can head over to the Fizz's thing and see him lose. Hopefully win, but probably lose.
Maybe our support is just what he needs.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I guess you can check me out on my YouTube, and you can also check me out on my Twitter, Mega, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Moving on.
All right, I got Fizz and Mega's YouTube's linked in the description. I'll add Souls later on if someone wants to send it to me. Thanks everyone for listening. Super awesome chat. Great. Big thanks to everyone here who joined in, came watch, all the people that were part of it. And definitely go check out Fizz's gameplay. He's awesome, dude. It's gonna be fun.
Yep.
I keep trying to put my link in, but apparently YouTube doesn't let you put links in the chat.
Yeah, no, I won't.
Send it through Discord and I'll put it up.
Yeah. Do that instead.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right,
See you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.